Hello and welcome to another episode of Pull Yourself to Pieces. And did you know, Ray, today, this episode is our 6-month anniversary. We're
Yay. Yippee.
You really got to calm down over there. You know, you're a little too excited about it.
Hooray. I can't believe you talked me into this again.
Why is it always me talking you into it?
I was going to get my nails done, and instead here I am.
Again with the nails? No. What's new with you?
Well, I just got a job as an exotic dancer. And, the pole and everything. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Is that because there's no work in what you normally do? Or?
No, actually, there's plenty of work with what I normally do. In fact,
that's
so much so that it's actually stressful.
So the exotic dancing for you can de-stress.
Oh, listen, sweetie, it's a relief. Yeah, not at this weight. No. Maybe when I lose 50 pounds, but
wow.
So yeah, COVID unfortunately has probably put a lot of people out of business. It's made a lot of people's lives very hard. I've just been ridiculously lucky. That's all I can say.
Oh, and you were bringing that up just in terms of like work. Yeah, agree. I thought you meant also being hard on people's bodies. COVID.
No, well, that too. I mean, seriously, that too. But what we hear after what we. All right, let me rephrase that.
Sure.
First, we hear about the deaths and how many people have been on respirators.
Right.
And then we hear about the economic fallout. How many people have lost their jobs? How many businesses have gone out of business? I mean, literally gone out of business.
Right. Yeah.
Because disposable cash is tight right now. People don't have money to spend like they did.
Right.
I think it's just slowly turning around for the general public, but for the last 2 years, people that I talk to in the same business that I'm in, home remodeling, they tell me their business is booming.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I have to contribute that to people not traveling, people not spending money, people maybe saving some money and then being stuck in the house for month after month. You look around and you go, you know what? It's time to fix this place up.
Right. And that being stuck in the house thing can contribute to the emotional stress of this, the physical stress.
Oh, yeah.
You told me you put on some weight that, COVID.
Oh,
you're not the first person who had that issue with COVID.
I'm only 3 weeks back at the gym after a 2-year layoff. And not having a particularly physical job, and at my age, it's easy to pack the pounds on. Plus, I like to cook. So there you go.
No, you don't like to just cook. You like to eat the food.
Well, yeah, all right. Granted, that's true. Yeah, I like to cook and eat.
Cook and then look at it and watch other people eat it and like,
oh man,
licking your lips.
Anyway, so I am.
So I got to ask you. So it's good you're busy, but if you weren't busy, what would you do? To make money.
That's a real good question.
Hadn't thought about it.
Obviously, I'd have to go work for somebody if they were hiring in my sector, and that's either cabinet making, home remodeling, or messing around with cars. Those are the 3 things I know how to do.
Gotcha. Right.
I'm also a writer, but you don't make any money doing that unless you're syndicated.
Well, yeah.
I'm also a musician, but I don't have a band. I don't sing with a band anymore, so there's no money coming in doing that. So
Right.
I'd basically, if I didn't have this right now, there's a good chance that after going through all my savings, I could be homeless.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's harsh reality. But it's good that you have some skills and, you could capitalize on those if you had to, Would you ever resort to selling your body?
Who'd buy it? That's what I want to know. I could put it on eBay and try and get some bids.
The main topic I want to talk about today is prostitution. Because it's an interesting term. What?
Okay. If you insist.
I was bringing our way down over to prostitution from selling your
Yeah.
body because
Yeah. So you want to know if I want to be a man whore? You want to be a man whore? That
and
was a
let
pretty
me make
funny
this
movie.
perfectly clear.
What?
This discussion we're going to talk about prostitution. This in no way is going to make light of the current prostitution situation. Okay,
You mean sex workers, as they're called?
fine. Not just talking about the legality of their name. I'm talking about that the profession, okay, which is the oldest profession in the world, right? The profession is
I always thought comedian was the oldest profession in the world.
the profession is
Are you sure it's not comedian? At some point there was a court jester trying to make some king or whatever laugh, just to save his life. So I think it started as comedian, and then women realized, hey, I have a commodity here I could sell.
Right. That's what it was. That's what happened.
I've got something all men want, and I should charge for it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if in a perfect world, okay, where there wasn't all the horrors of prostitution as the industry is now, but as the profession or the
wait
it's
a
not
minute.
even a profession, right?
Well,
I mean, like
using
if there didn't exist, pimps and sex trafficking and sex slaves and the abuse, the drug situation,
use,
all of that stuff. If that wasn't in the picture, then I really don't see there being a victim in prostitution.
Well, it's
because both parties kind of really going to the table. It's a
business.
And let's not just talk about just women. Let's talk about prostitution. Let's say male or female. We're not going to single out, just prostitution in general. Someone's selling themselves for money. Now, I want to purposely say selling themselves for money instead of just saying selling sex, because there's a multiple different definitions, by the way, if you look it up for prostitution. Most times it says selling of yourself, and there's in a sexual manner for a fee, right? But there's also some definitions that I found that said it's of selling of yourself for a fee. And I'm going to be honest, Ray, I'm going to ask you some questions and I'm going to think about it myself. Like, have you ever done something? And I'm sure the answer is going to be yes. Have you ever done something just for the money?
Well, I have to think about that.
I bet you did. Listen, you work with clients, okay?
And have I ever done something just for the money?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a pretty funny story, actually.
Oh, I want to hear it.
This is one of those you had to be there. It may not sound funny, but it was really funny at the time.
How far back is this going?
Like late 80s, like 1986, 1987.
So you in your upper 20s? Oh, almost 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
I was partners in a cabinet shop with my friend Paul, and we had this cabinet shop, and we mostly did wholesale. So we would wholesale to retailers that was selling, that they were selling modern furniture on Long Island, which is what we made. We made ultra modern furniture, very expensive stuff, one of a kind stuff, mostly decorator and designer driven.
Right.
We were building for this company on Long Island, run by two older men. They were partners, and they came to our shop, the two of them, because they wanted us to make a template for a mantle for a fireplace.
Okay.
And apparently the mantle was all in stone.
Oh, wow.
So you had a surface that was like highs and lows. Some of the stone stick out a lot, some of the stone didn't. There was grout in between the stone, and they needed this mantle to go right up against the wall and be supported.
Oh.
And so they needed a template built. And after they built the template, they were going to take the template and take it to a company that actually built wood furniture, because we didn't build wood furniture. Everything
Uh-huh.
we did was in laminate, Formica.
Yep.
And after we built the template, they were going to take the template and bring it over to these guys that were going to make this. What I say it is? What is it called again? A mantle.
Right. And they were going to build just one of this, so this was meant to be like almost like mass produced in a way. Or?
No, it was just for one customer, one client that had a very expensive house,
Sure.
very very nice fire. The fireplace was about 6 to 7 feet wide, if I remember right, because I actually made the template.
Okay.
So they wanted to know how much was it going to cost, and so I stood there and I looked at them and I looked at Paul and I said, $500. And the one owner went, $500? Just like that, he yelled like he was surprised, like, "Oh my God,
Oh my!
$500!"
He probably
And
was
I
expecting you to tell him like 50 or maybe
yeah,
not even
75.
Right.
And so I looked at him and I said, "That's right." I said, "You know why?" And then I proceeded to tell him.
Oh.
I said because this thing that we're going to make for you has to be perfect.
Huh.
It has to be absolutely perfect or it's not going to work. It's not going to fit right. And this is going to take time. And it's the type of thing where you can't skimp. And I said to him, and I can tell you that if I make it, it's going to be perfect. And the charge for this perfection is $500.
Right. You were not talking about just like giving him some drawings or something, right? Or on paper.
No,
or
I
a
was
little model.
I was going to take a piece of Luan that was a 1/16 of an inch thick. And I was going to take this piece
What's
of
Luan
Luan
again? That's that really thin wood that goes on the back of cabinets, right? Like that.
Well, most Luan is 1/4 of an inch thick. They actually make a Luan that's a 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's bendable, so you could actually make cylinders out of it. You could actually bend it around a frame and make a cylinder because it's very bendable. It's only a 1/16 of an inch.
1/16 of an inch, sure.
So what I did was I basically took a piece of that 1/16 of an inch material and I cut it 6 inches wide by about 8 foot long. And then when I went to the house, I took it and I shoved it up against the rock or the stone where the mantle was going to be. And at that point, I had to take a pencil and then trace with the pencil on top all the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And then I had to cut it and then trace it again and cut it again and trace it again and cut it again and trace it again and cut it again.
Sounds like you started to earn that money.
Oh, I absolutely did. And I can tell you that it was absolutely perfect. There was no gaps anywhere. It fit like a glove.
Wow.
And it took at least an hour. And when I was satisfied with it, I said, okay, I said goodbye to the people. I said, here's the template. And they were very happy. And off I went. So we dropped off the template. We got a check for $500 and everyone was happy. Well, they paid the wood company to actually build this thing. And once they finally brought it to the house, they realized that a wood mantle so close to the fire wasn't going to work. So the whole project was scrapped. And these two guys lost their shirts because they paid us $500 to make the template. And God only knows what they paid this furniture, this cabinet shop to make this custom mantle that they couldn't use. And by the way, after they built the mantle, it was stained. So it wasn't painted. It was a custom stain. It was like a wood color, almost like an oak.
Yeah.
The thing, I saw the thing. It was absolutely gorgeous, but it never got attached and the job went down the toilet.
Wow. Holy cow. What a story.
Yeah.
So that was a situation where you just did it for the money. There you go.
I did it for the money. And I thought, you know what, here's the thing, everything's on me now. So if I screw this up, who are they going to come back to?
Right.
I had to take responsibility for it. So, and I said, you know what, if you want it right, this is what you pay.
Yeah. Listen, getting back to our main topic, that was interesting, but I'm sure, what would you say? There's got to be like 70, 80% of us have definitely done something just for the money,
I would guess so. Yeah,
You
I would
have
think
to
so.
have. Sometimes, hey, even in jobs if you do a job, if you have a job you don't like, right? You put up with the job. A lot of times you're putting up the job just for the money. I mean,
Oh well, I can tell you specifically in my line of work, being a contractor / home remodeler, a
right.
lot of times we get called on to look at a job, and there might be something about this job that we don't want to do, and because of that, we double the price
There you go.
because we
There it is
don't want to
again.
do the job.
Right.
And so when people accept that and they decide to pay it, well, then it's worthwhile. But generally, I'll put a high price on there because I actually don't want to do the job, because sometimes it's just more aggravation than it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you
So
go.
yeah,
I mean, yeah. I mean,
yes.
and you know what? That's in job situations. I hate to bring it up, but in relationships, don't tell me that haven't been men and women who haven't married for just financial security. Okay, they pretty much married
Well, we all know your wife did. So how
just.
much does she charge you? How much does she charge you to make love to her? Do you get a discount stuff?
No, I don't.
At the end of the night, she goes, credit card, please, and she has the little machine. And she swipes it.
Right. Listen, I bring
And
all
it's-
this up because, like I
Yes.
said, I mean, my point I'm trying to make is that we all have done things just for the money. Okay.
Okay.
So, with that being said,
Mhm.
the idea of prostitution is not far off from what we do and what we may have done in a situation. Granted, none of the thing we talked about was sexual. Okay, but
Okay.
my discussion here is about where the profession of sex workers is, and it's really a shame that it's still considered illegal in most of the world. Okay, there are some okay, over on the other side of the country, other side of the world. Okay, Holland, for example. All right, they legalized prostitution over 30 years ago, and because I think what they realized is, in a lot of places where they legalize it, being one of the oldest professions, it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going to go away.
Well,
There's definitely some positive things, no? I mean, to getting it to be a legal type of thing. First of all, okay, you finally get some real legal on the book protection for someone who's in that industry, male or female, right?
okay.
It's considered a professional business. It's legitimate. Okay. There'll be safety issues and security issues for people that are going to be in that. And again, I'm not talking about a situation where someone has been forced into that, or there's pimps involved, or they're drug addicts and it's the only thing they have to turn to, or they've been abused of their life,
Or their slave trade, or their
slave trade.
sex.
Slave trade is illegal.
Sex
Pedophiles, a horrible type of thing. Sex trafficking, that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about two consenting people. Okay, where there's no game here. It's excuse the expression, it's tit for tat. Okay, there's somebody who wants something and someone who's selling something, and there's not a game there. If it was
It's a commodities exchange.
Sure. I started to think about how porn is legal and then prostitution isn't. But at first I'm looking at it on paper and I was going, I'm like, I'm going to bring this up with Ray. And I'm like, at first it looked like, oh, they're so similar. But then I started to tear apart and I started thinking like, all right, you know what? There's a real difference thing going on here. With porn, you have technically you've got really, let's consider it. Let's consider the porn you're looking at is two members, okay, whether they're the same sex or opposite sex, but basically
you mean like man and sheep?
Okay, right. But either
what porn are you looking at?
Well, that's not right. It should be. No, I'm talking about man and a woman, a woman and a woman, and a man and a man.
Who's getting the bad end of that deal, the man or the sheep?
The point I want to make is that the porn is, if it's two people that have been hired, they're getting paid to do a sexual act. The customer is really a third party, right? Where that's not the case with prostitution. It's there's one party, another party's paying for that, and the first party is really getting what they're getting paid for. I mean, it would be such a weird thing if prostitution situation where it was, you had to pay for the sex worker, but then they paid you something back. I mean, then I don't know if it would be considered prostitution anymore. That might be a workaround.
Now, what happens if you decide you just want to pay a woman just to snuggle?
Right.
What if there is no sex involved per se?
Right.
What if you just want to sleep next to a warm body because you're lonely?
Right. And we're talking about consenting adults, right? We're talking about consenting adults.
Why should this be illegal?
You know what? It has to all go back really far back, and it's going to go to religious. That's what I feel.
That?
It's going to.
How do you get that?
Well, because I think over the years, sex, especially in the umbrella of or the vision of religions, is always looked at as a bad thing if it's not sex for marriage or sex in marriage.
Oh, well, yeah. Now you're talking about Puritanism. So
yes. So sexual shame has been in our society forever. And really, that's really a horrible thing because sex is not really a bad thing. It can be, it's the same thing with like nudity. It's looked at different ways by, when sexualized and then it's turned into a bad thing. And sex shouldn't have to be that way. It's horrible that sex workers are like looked really down upon, hated, despised in society, and if it was legal and it was regulated and there was
but it would still be hated.
It would be hated.
It would be hated by women that don't have the self-confidence in themselves to think, oh, my husband would never want to go do that, and my husband would never go and pay for it. See that, every prostitute is a direct affront to every housewife that doesn't sell themselves for sex. It's a competition. That's what it is. Yeah. It's a competition. It's how dare you? You can a guy will come to you and give you money and you'll give him sex and he'd probably prefer you than me. And I think that's the problem.
Right. Good point.
I don't think you'll find too many men that are going to be against prostitution. It's going to be mostly women.
Oh, and what about a man who is
a prostitute?
No. I was going to say, what about a man who is just very, I hate to use the word, just his looks are not acceptable for society. Someone who is extremely homely looking, right?
Yeah, the opposite of George Clooney. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly, the complete opposite. That guy.
All right. Yeah, that guy.
You can't help but feel bad for that guy. He's not getting acceptance from women, in regular society. He's going to turn to sexual workers, and it's a win if you want to say it for both of them. Because he's getting something.
He gets something out of it. She gets something out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point. Yeah.
There's no harm. There's no victim there. Really. I mean, I thought we could have more of a counterpoint with this thing, but after looking at the details, I thought that I was going to have a lot more to say against prostitution, but it's hard to not see that it could only be a beneficial thing. And one,
well, there has to be an age cutoff. That's
absolutely. Oh yeah, we're talking adult.
You're right. You have to. There has to be a minimum age standard across the board if you're going to legalize this type of thing.
I believe there would really be less crime. There would be less drugs. There'd be less abuse. There would be, a much more safer environment, male or female prostitution. I think there would definitely be. Look, if you actually started shutting down all the places, brothels, and tenements and buildings where sex is happening, if you started shutting all those down and really, really close down on it, which apparently I hear that they might actually be in certain places where the laws have gotten even stricter and harder. That where you're going to put, they're not going to go away. So now you're putting them out in the street. It's even worse, right? More and more sex workers on the street.
Yeah.
And then think about the cost for policing, right? Police, cops, vice squads and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just
How
I
about
don't know.
how about healthcare to care
Oh,
for all those women that catch
yeah,
those communicable diseases?
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
there should be, if prostitution is going to be legalized, well, then there needs to be screening.
Absolutely,
The
absolutely,
potential clients, either male or female, have to be screened. And
absolutely.
if you don't pass muster, then you don't get any nookie, no matter how much money you got. So, yeah, I mean, I see your point.
It's an interesting talk, but I don't think it'll happen. Um, but if it was, it seems like it would need to be wherever it's going to be legalized. It would sort of be like a place. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to. It seems to make sense that would be more of the that would be the right path to go, in my opinion. Where it's just kind of like where you had the adult store, you had the porno theater, you're going to have the places where, you're going to have, and that's where you'd go and, you can get what you want.
Well, they have that.
I know
There's those famous
what is it,
ranches
Nevada? How's
in
that?
Nevada. Yeah.
Right. So we have a few places in this country that have it. So,
Yeah.
who knows if that'll get squashed or it'll one day become the norm in a lot more states. I just picture a lot of states that are obviously a lot of states that are going to be a lot more conservative, a lot more
You think?
right there.
Any,
They're not going to
anything
go for it.
south of the Mason-Dixon line is going to be
Which is funny. They don't want to legalize prostitution, but guaranteed there's people on both sides of the political spectrum who are going to some of those
absolutely.
those
Of
sex
course
workers.
they are.
They just don't want to admit it.
We live in one of the most hypocritical countries on the
do
planet.
we ever?
Bill.
Do we ever? Well, that was a fun
Absolutely.
story. That was a fun
Yeah.
topic.
Absolutely.
You got time? We'll go away and come and do some more segments. So what do you think?
Oh, I got nothing else to
I
do.
can keep you here? Okay. All right. I thought I'd have to pay you.
Donuts.
Pay you for your time. Oh, that's
Donuts.
the fee? All
Yeah.
right. But no sex. All right. I'll give you the donuts, but that's, just to keep.
No sex?
No, sorry.
You mean I'm going to have to settle for donuts? Couldn't you just at least pet me?
All right. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with one of our segments right here.
Look how cute I am. Look how cute I am. Don't you want to pet me?
Oh, gosh. I didn't have lunch yet. Now you're going to get me sick. All right. We'll be right back. This is Bill.
And this is Ray.
And you're listening to Pull Yourself to Pieces. Catch a brand new episode every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday? Wait, every week?
Well,
you expect me here every single week to do this?
Are you serious?
I have things to do. I got library books. I gotta wash my car.
Are you serious? You can't be here just to record once a week?
All right.
Whew.
Hello and welcome back to Pull Yourself to Pieces. I'm Ray, and over in the corner, crying like a baby, is Bill.
Crying like a baby? Why would that happen?
I don't know. Maybe you're having a nervous breakdown. Maybe you should pull yourself to pieces.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Right.
So every week it seems like I come up with a funny story of the weird stuff that I like to do, and I just thought of one that I did on my very first cruise. I've taken 3 of them, and they're lots of fun. And this is back.
You've taken 3 of those, huh?
2003, 2005, and then 2007.
I'm like afraid.
Yeah. So I don't know how many of our 2 listeners have actually been on a cruise, but
maybe 1 out of 2.
The boat is it's huge. I mean, it's absolutely huge. Right. You see it out in the water, but until you're on it, you can't appreciate how big it is. And so when you finally board and get to your stateroom and unpack, the main thing you want to do is explore. You want to start at one end and go, from stem to stern, and you want to explore the boat because there's so much to see.
Untie the boat. Yeah.
Lou, untie the boat. So it's a beautiful summer day. The boat usually leaves out of Florida, out of Port Canaveral, and I find myself on not the top deck, but an observation deck that's probably about 50 feet above the main deck. And it's like a catwalk, a half semicircle catwalk that goes from the port to the starboard side of the boat, all the way like a half circle, and it's about 6 foot deep from front to back with a railing that keeps you from falling over 50 feet down onto the main deck. And it's basically an observation point. You can get a really nice view of the sea, the ocean that's out in front of you. Where I was standing was dead center of the boat. In fact, when I turned around, behind me were those big smokestacks, those four big smokestacks in a line directly behind me. So here I am. I'm in the very, very center of the boat, and I'm standing there, and I've got my hands on the railing, and I'm just enjoying the breeze and the sun, and I'm looking around, and it's water for as far as the eye can see.
Right.
And there's couples. And by the way, I was alone. So there's lots of couples. And there are couples to the left of me, and there are couples to the right of me. And because the semicircle was actually pretty big, you couldn't even see everybody, but you knew people were there. You could kind of hear very, very, very low whispers. It was too quiet, and that's a problem for me. That's when my brain starts to go. When I'm somewhere and it's too quiet.
You must be fun in the bathroom.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how many people have seen the movie Funny Girl, but there is a scene where Barbra Streisand is on a tugboat, and she is racing to go see Nicky Arnstein, the man that she loves.
Right.
And basically, that scene starts one of the most famous songs from that film. And right there and then it hit me, and right there and then, in my best Barbra Streisand voice, I went, "Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade?" Just like that, as loud as I could. And then I counted 1, 2, 3, and then the laughter started. People, they were hysterical because they got the joke. I mean, here we are, we're on a boat, we're standing on, we're right in the front, we can see everything. And I made the connection. I made people laugh. They got the joke.
Oh, that's funny.
The people that didn't see Funny Girl, they didn't get the joke.
Right,
but
of course.
I think everybody's seen it at least once or knows of that famous.
Our age, yeah. Anybody 30 and under probably doesn't even know what the movie's even called. Like Funny Girl? Why?
Yeah, Funny Girl. So
Don't Rain on My Parade?
Don't Rain on My Parade.
And it's funny. I recently watched that with my younger son.
Yeah.
Who actually has occasional interest in old movies, surprisingly. And we both were impressed with that scene, the cinematography of it for the time of that movie. It's actually a pretty interesting sequence.
Yep.
Because there's several scenes before she gets to the tugboat. She's running. She's on a train.
Yep.
And then she's at the dock, and then she's on the boat.
Yeah.
Right. And when she's on the train, the camera is like really super far away, and she's doing some of the lyrics, right? And the camera's coming in and coming in and coming in. Camera goes right up to her, hanging out of the train. I mean, not her body, but I mean, top half of her is hanging out of one of the windows in the train, right into her, and she's singing, and it seems to be dead right on cue. And I was impressed with that traveling shot for that year. That was like in the mid 60s.
60, 69 or 67 or 69.
Yeah, later 60s then. Okay, later 60s.
Late 60s.
And then she gets to the dock, she misses the boat, and then she gets on a
tugboat. The tugboat.
Right. Yeah. And again, they do it again. And what's really good with that particular scene, it's pretty much towards the end of the song, and it's her just going, "I march my band."
Yep.
And again, the camera comes from far, comes in. It's doing like 180 around her in the air.
Well, it's
and
probably on a
then it
helicopter. It's
backs
probably
up
mounted
again,
on
but-
it. It's mounted on a
but
helicopter.
nicely clear, really well done, and she's singing it in tune. I know, obviously it's dubbed, but it's really well done, and it's impressive to me. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like when you go back and if you go look and look at The Sound of Music, and you watch some of the musical sequences again for a movie in the mid '60s, really impressive for some of the traveling cinematography shots for the
Right.
time. Very
Right.
impressive.
Yeah.
Someone should just go back if they've never seen Funny Girl, if they've never seen West Side Story, if they've never seen
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, go and see those just for the cinematography and the technology for as old as those films are.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Did we talk the hell out of this or what?
I think so. So onward to Peculiar Vernacular.
Yeah, onward to Peculiar Vernacular. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with one of my favorite segments. Right after
Well,
this.
it's mine too.
All right. We don't care about you. Goodbye.
All right.
This is Arnold, and you're listening to Pull Yourself to Pieces.
Arnold, is it a tumor?
It's not a tumor. Hey, catch a brand new episode every Wednesday. Hasta la vista, baby.
Peculiar Vernacular.
Welcome to another edition of Peculiar Vernacular, our segment on unusual sayings and how they may have come to be, or it's where I get to test Ray and see if he happens to know any of them.
Yeah. Well, I still think you made half of these up.
I thought I thought today's subject would be about wine because recently you and I were talking about wine. What were you telling me? You told me that you had
What did I tell you?
a
I
couple
told I've got three unopened bottles of wine that I'm trying to get rid of.
why?
Well, I just recently read that even the smallest amount of alcohol shrinks your brain.
Too late.
And look, I need as much as I can hold on to. So I don't want to
Goodbye,
shrink
wine.
anymore.
Gotcha.
I don't want to shrink anymore. So I'm not a big drinker to begin with,
Yeah.
and now I've given up
Same here. I don't
alcohol
drink at all.
completely.
But
No
I'll
more
tell
alcohol.
you what I do know about the wine situation is that
Yeah.
wine has a
Yes.
lot of flavonoids and
Yes,
anti.
Uh
What's
huh.
it called? No,
Yeah. Listen,
antioxidants. No,
I read that
oxidants?
you can get all that stuff from grape juice.
Yes, exactly. The purple grape juice. So
The
just for
purple
those listeners
grape
out
juice.
there who might be deciding to like, oh, can't drink, wine anymore. Well, you're not going to be able to get the buzz, but if you want to get the benefits from the red wine, go and drink
From
some
the grape.
juice.
The benefits
Okay.
from the grapes.
So speaking of the word wine, I thought I would
Yeah.
do a bunch of
Oh
sayings
no! Are you gonna do something about wine?
and see if you know of any of these. All right.
Okay.
Do you know? I don't think I've heard any of these. All right.
Oh boy. Oh,
Have you ever
crap.
heard of the expression, don't put new wine into old bottles? Any idea
No.
what that might mean?
No,
I
but
mean, either.
that's easy though.
What do you think?
Don't put new wine into old bottles.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. You probably could get the answer.
No, you know what? I'm kind of at a blank here.
Well, it's don't try to put something new into something that's different that works. You're not going to try to
No, you're doing a horrible job of explaining this. Try again. Take two.
what I'm saying is do not try
Yeah.
to force something new and different to be applied or added to an established, long-standing, outdated, or obsolete organization or system.
Oh wow, geez. Now that makes sense.
Well,
It helps if you read the whole thing.
how about the
All right.
expression jug wine?
Jug wine, 2 words, jug wine. That's an
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I love this restaurant. For just a few bucks, you can buy a big plate of food and a pitcher of jug wine.
I give up.
It's just cheap wine that they sell in big quantities. That's it.
Boy. I'm going to start whining soon. Go
Oh,
ahead.
How about pop wine?
Pop wine. Now you're just making shit up. You also. Just admit it.
No idea, huh?
Pop wine?
I was
Isn't
drinking
isn't that
crappy
isn't
pop
that when-
wine last night because I forgot to buy anything for myself, and it gave me the worst headache.
isn't that when your father complains that your mother's not giving him any sex?
That's it.
That's it. I knew it. Okay, now it makes sense.
Right.
Listen to pop wine. Jesus, babe, you don't take care of me anymore.
Yeah.
Listen to pop wine. Okay,
Pop
what else you
wine
got?
is just cheap wine that's, that actually very
it's the same
sweet.
so it's the same as jug wine. Okay,
I never understand that about wine, that, if it's sweet and it's flavorful, that's bad wine, right? All that expensive wine and it, that they do the wine testing where it's
no,
you
no,
know,
no.
yeah, a lot of that stuff has got no taste.
That's a fallacy.
Really?
That's a fallacy. Sweet wines are just as well respected as dry wines. Okay, don't let anybody tell you differently.
Okay. All right. There is truth in wine. What does that mean? I gotta laugh.
There is truth in wine. Oh my God! I have no clue here.
A person who is drunk is more apt to speak honestly.
Oh,
Makes sense.
that's true.
That right.
Inhibitions be damned, filter be damned. That's when like I remember one of our early episodes. I talked about. Don't you just hate it when you're sitting next to some guy and he's drunk and he puts his arm around you, tells you he's your best friend, and you just want to smack him in the head with the bowl of pretzels in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's why I don't go to bars,
Right.
as you can tell.
All right. I only have a few more left. All right. This is
Yeah.
a saying. All right. Good wine needs no bush.
This is a family show, so I'm not going to go there.
How could you not?
It would be too easy. Yeah, I like a challenge.
The product
good
I
wine-
invented is so excellent that it needs no ad campaign, just as good wine needs no bush. Oh, that might help. Or not.
Nope, sorry.
Help.
I'm lost.
A proverb, an item of good quality needs no advertisement. Oh,
Okay, what does bush have to do with it?
I guess the wine bush.
And are we
The
talking
grape
about
bush.
are we talking about past presidents, or are we talking about something you hide behind when you play hide and seek? What the hell are we talking about here?
And the last one I'll leave you with, Ray, thank God, is what does the term wine woman and song really mean?
Oh, the three things that only matter in life.
Here you go.
There you go. The only three things that matter.
Yes. Pleasures and vices.
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol, pursuing women, and
music
music.
with great music. Wine, women, and song. Yep.
And there you
Three
go.
things you can't live without. Or at least the best
For
ingredients for a
men.
really great party.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of women would be very happy if men didn't even exist.
Oh, without a doubt.
We are one of the main reasons for all the horrors in this world.
Of course we are.
I know. Yeah.
Of course we are.
This world would be a whole different place if women ran it. I really wish they did. I
So
hate
do
to
I.
think what they would do with me, but
So
you
do
know,
I.
It's
You just want to be. You just don't want to be around at the end of the month. You just want to kind of hide for 4 or 5 days till it's safe to come
Right.
back out.
right.
Yeah.
All right, I think we did enough of that. We're gonna take a break and come back with Ray's favorite segment, one of my favorite segments.
Oh, good. I'm
Some
going to go
more
get
loony
drunk now.
laws that we've been doing
Yeah, I'm
every
gonna go get-
week.
I'm going to go get drunk now. So
Okay.
this way I'm prepared for loony laws.
All right, we'll be right back after this. This is Bill.
And this is Ray.
And you're listening to Pull Yourself to Pieces. Catch a brand new episode every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday? Wait, every week?
Well,
You expect me here every single week to do this?
Are you serious?
I have things to do. I've got library books. I gotta wash my car.
Are you serious? You can't be here just to record once a week?
All right.
Whew.
It's time for Loony Laws of the Land.
Okay, welcome to another edition of Loony Laws of the Land. where
Yay.
We uncover some real, true, mostly current, I believe, laws in different states in this country. And we've been doing alphabetical. And Ray, what did we do last time? We did California. So
Yeah.
we're going to Colorado.
Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Oh, this should be good. Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. Some wacky laws in Colorado.
Okay,
It is
me.
unlawful to
Yeah.
lend your vacuum cleaner to your next door neighbor in Denver. Really? Why? Not the next door neighbor. The guy next to him, then it's okay. How did that become a
to-
law?
You have to skip one house over. And then he has to skip one house over. Then the third house has to skip the fourth house and go to the
So if you
fifth
have an
house.
odd number of houses, it can work back around again and we can get everybody covered.
Right. So I want to know who got the job to make sure that somebody's not lending their vacuum cleaner to
That
somebody
job
else.
sucks. Get it?
Oh boy. Can't believe you said that.
Okay, this is an obvious one. In the whole state of Colorado, it's illegal to ride a horse while under the influence. Well, duh. You know, it's
What?
it's a
horse or
like
the
a
rider?
vehicle. Well,
The horse or the rider.
oh,
You gotta
my
be
God.
specific, Bill. I'm confused.
Ray, it is illegal to throw missiles at cars. All right, in Alamosa. It's a problem, apparently.
I was drinking water when you said that. I almost spit it right at the mic.
You almost did a missile. Whew.
I almost did a spit
water-
take on the
A water
microphone.
missile.
Missiles from
That's
cars.
what it says.
Who the hell? Who's got missiles?
Yeah, right.
What
In
did
Colorado, no less.
Is it like a missile store? Is it like right next to the Walmart?
This is not
You go,
some
yeah,
European country under war right
Yeah,
now.
I'd like a dozen Intercontinentals, please. What the hell? And from a car? I mean, it's actually specific, no less. Not even
Ooh.
from a rooftop, no less. From a car.
Now, this is next one is funny. Okay, this is
Good
in Boulder,
God.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Boulders may not be rolled onto city property in Boulder, Colorado.
That's a good law.
Yeah, really. Rolling a boulder. Yeah. Hey, buddy, what are you doing over there with that boulder?
What does it look like? I'm bowling.
Now, this isn't fair. In Pueblo,
Yeah.
Colorado, it's illegal to let a dandelion grow within the city limits. What they got against dandelions? Really?
How do you stop that from happening?
Yeah,
How
really.
the
The
hell do
thing's
you stop that?
It grows everywhere.
Really?
Oh,
Unbelievable. What do you do? Do you write it a tiny little do you write a tiny little ticket and I was this ridiculous. Who they're smoking way too much pot there. This is why.
Yeah, that's it.
This is
There
it.
you
This is
go.
the problem. They're all high
Yep.
and they sit around thinking
Well,
of
they are
wacky
high, isn't it?
laws.
Isn't Colorado like way above sea level? There you go. There's not much air.
I-
It's, the air is thin.
Maybe that's it.
And apparently, you may not mutilate a rock in a state park.
Oh,
How do you?
Jesus.
How do you do that?
Sexually? So you're not allowed to drill a small hole in it and make sex with it, huh? Hey, this rock looks like a virgin. Come here.
That's,
What
all right,
the
you
hell?
gotta stop. That's ridiculous.
What the hell?
Uh,
Mutilate a rock, huh? Wow.
ooh. All right. In Louisville, there's a Louisville, Colorado. You are not allowed to own chickens, but you can own up to 3 turkeys. I'm guessing living.
That's discrimination.
Really?
That's it. The chickens should band together and join the union. And,
All right. Who is checking this? In Logan County, it's illegal for a man to kiss a woman while she's asleep. Who's checking that?
wow.
I want that job.
I want to kiss a woman who's asleep.
Is that
and then run?
I was going to say, if you kiss a woman and she's asleep.
Yeah.
Well, if she's your girl or she's your wife or she's your partner, okay.
Seriously. That's against the law.
Well,
Who presses charges?
How do they know? Oh,
Absolutely ridiculous. Looney laws. There you go. Aptly named.
oh,
Go ahead.
Ray,
What else you got?
this one's funny to me. Like not like the other ones haven't been ridiculous. But
Really?
in the state of Colorado, you may not rip off those tags of pillows and mattresses.
I'm going right to jail. This is the first thing I do when I get home. I go, I'll show you. I get out my scissors, boop, then they're gone.
Why doesn't it even say that on there? Do not remove tag. It's like,
Yes,
why?
it does.
Why is that?
Billy, nobody
Does
knows
it give an
why.
excuse? It's probably just a joke, just to see if people will really not do it.
Nobody knows why. In fact, that tag is the equivalent to your speed is your speed is being monitored by airplane. That's a lie. When's the last time you saw an airplane flying over the highway? Never.
Right.
That's a lie. There
Right.
are no airplanes
Right.
gauging your speed on the highway. It's a joke. It's not true. It's a lie.
Oh, well.
What else you got?
It is illegal in Denver to drive a black car on Sundays. A black car on Sundays.
Oh gosh.
Really? You got to keep that car in the driveway? You can't drive on a Sunday?
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
No
I can't
black
believe that
cars.
one's real.
No black cars on a Sunday.
What they
You
got to
realize-
That's
You-
really wrong.
Do you realize that some of the very first cars, all of them, were painted black?
Oh, real? Oh, right, right.
Model Ts.
Why
your
was
Model
that? Was
As,
there? I guess
all
it was
the
just easy,
big-
right?
All the big sedans, they were all black. I think that law was intended to keep the cars off the road.
Oh, I
That's
see.
the only way to explain it, and I guarantee that law is at least 120
That's
years
gotta be.
old.
All right.
Has
And I
to
got
be.
one last one for you. All right. It is illegal to keep junk close to someone else. Wait, what?
to keep your junk close to somebody else. That's some long junk there, buddy. Wow. You should
I'll
be in
leave
the
it at that.
movies. You should be in the movies.
I'm not even going to try to understand it,
Oh, I
explain
will.
it, or whatever.
Oh, I will.
We're done.
No junk, huh? You're not allowed to keep your junk close to a person.
We need to bring
Well,
this
what if-
show to a
What,
close.
what if that person just happens to walk by and trips over your junk? Whose fault is that then? How do you lay blame on that one?
You got me.
Hey, buddy, didn't you see my junk? Hey, why do you have that junk so close to me? Kiss my ass. I mean, seriously, unbelievable.
Put
All
that
right, so
junk back in its place.
I hope our two listeners are taking notes here. That when you go to Colorado, be careful with your turkeys. Be careful with your junk,
Right.
and keep your black car in your garage.
Oh boy. All right. What a show. Have we learned anything today? Today's
Lots.
show. Okay.
We've learned lots.
All right. All right. Well, for those of you out there, we'll be leaving for today, ending this show, leaving you with those wonderful
sure they're
thoughts.
happy. I'm sure they're happy now.
And look forward to next week when we'll have
When
another
what?
installment of Pull Yourself to Pieces.
What you
Pull
mean?
yourself to pieces. We hope.
You mean when they waste another hour out of their day?
Right. Well, no one gives us any feedback. I'm waiting. I'm begging. Please.
Yeah. Please give us some feedback.
If I had money, I would
Yeah.
pay you. Okay? I would prostitute myself.
Yeah.
To just get someone to respond, but I can't. I don't have any money to afford that, so
Yeah. Okay.
I need a favor. No sexual favors. I just need a favor. My favor is let us know if you like the show or you hate the show. Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the the suspense is killing us. All right.
All right.
Take care of each other out there. Be good to each other.
That's right. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Please check out our website, pullyourselftopieces.com.
That's right.
And you can subscribe to the show in Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher, and YouTube, or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode.
And if you enjoy our show, don't forget to give us a high rating.
And remember to tell your friends about the show.
Thanks for listening to our show, and thank you to freesounds.org and Gottlieb, Audio Mirage, Plasterbrain, Cognito Perceptu, FK Prod, Mirage Taser, Shadow Wisp, D-Boss, Viku Seru, Intra Environmental Sound Project, Julian Nicholas, Carmelo Mike, G Kill Hour, 140178 Sound, CMU Sound Design, Alan Mchi, Der Super Anton, Eric H2000, Bulbastray, FK Phantom, Ultra Dust, Ada Records, Stuart Colborn, DeBroid, Cubidup, GJ, Syntax Seed, Inspector J, Astounded, Madge 061785, Just Invoke, Short Record, Lorenzo Sue, and Ama Kenzie. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/legal code.